Hey everyone, in today's video I'm going to be giving you a simplified explanation on how a reverse osmosis membrane filter works. And for the remainder of this video, I'll probably simply refer to this as an RO filter or an RO membrane. Now this type of filtering works by allowing water to pass through it, but at the same time rejecting the dissolved solids, or what we commonly refer to as the minerals of the water that we don't want. And if you take a look at the input side, it looks like almost like a rolled up paper towel. You've got this membrane that's rolled up. This is a long sheet. It's all coiled up here, as well as this center spindle. Now, for the input side of an RO membrane, you'll see that we have this little rubber flange here. That's so that when it's installed inside a housing, any water that comes out of the opposite end, the output side, won't work its way back up and then go back into the input again. So this kind of creates a seal. And the housing will be capped off, and the caps will have two ports, a center port and a port off to the side. For the input side, since we're going to be inputting the water over to here, it'll actually be capped off, and you'll only have one side for the water to go into. And what happens is the water will work itself away through this membrane. In fact, let's go back to the paper towel. What happens is it'll push through here, and just like paper towel where you might have multiple layers, the RO membrane has multiple layers as well. But in between those layers and those membranes are small holes. These holes are large enough to allow a lot of the water to pass through, but small enough to capture some of the dissolved solids or the minerals like we talked about, and it'll hold that back. So as water is being pushed through and it's coiling itself all the way down, what happens is the held back minerals and as well as some water will just come out the side here, just like it was inputted, but in the center will be the purified water. So what that means is on the output side of the RO membrane, this is where the rejected water will come out of, and this is when the center is actually used, and that's where the purified water will output. So if we have our cap on again, this time we will use both ports. The off to the side will be your rejected water, and then in the middle you'll have your purified water. Now RO membranes usually can purify in ideal conditions up to 98, even 99%, which means in some cases, coming out of that center port, you might go to one last stage of filtering. Sometimes people will use deionization just to get the water to be at 100% pure. Now the last thing I have to talk about is how we balance between how much water is going towards the rejected side versus the pure side. On a lot of reverse osmosis systems or RODI systems, that is, it's going to go to some final stage of filtering, you'll have some kind of way to regulate the water that's going to the waste. On this particular type of cap, we actually have a regulator fitting so that it's actually putting about a certain amount of back pressure on there. So only a certain percent of water is going to come out of the waste side. The rest is going to get redirected to the pure side. So this is kind of like an automatic system. In other systems, you might actually have a valve that you can have fully open if you want to do like a full waste flush, or you can close it, well, at least to the minimum setting, so that there's still a certain amount of water that's going out through the waste, and then the rest is going towards your pure side. So one last factor that can affect the amount of water output you get out of an RO filter is how the RO filter is rated itself. It's usually rated for a certain PSI input or flow rate. See, in some industrial applications, you're always going to need to have a pump to optimize the amount of water going through this for the purification process. In other applications, such as a window cleaning purification unit, it might be designed to run out over tap pressure, which is usually about 60 PSI on average. Another thing that can affect the amount of water flow is also the temperature of the water. Some people, like for instance window cleaners, will bring out their systems at the beginning of the spring where the water going through the ground is still quite cold. Well, colder water has thicker molecules, so it will actually pass through the membrane at a slower rate. What they'll notice is that as the weather warms up throughout the spring and summer, that the actual performance of their RO is a lot better. Anyway, I hope you learned something today, and if you have any more questions, leave them in the comments. Thanks for watching.